Welcome to EV Car Share. So today I am sat in the Peterborough services. I have a big journey to do. This is the first kind of, I guess, real long journey that I'm going to be doing on this channel. So I have a journey to do. I have 193 miles according to my sat nav, and I'll arrive with 18%. So I need to get a move on, especially because once I do arrive and check into my travel lodge, yeah, I'm staying in the bargain basement of hotel chains. Travel lodge this time, it just happens to be well placed and availability and so on. So when I arrive there, I will be checking in and taking a Teams meeting for work. So as I say, this channel, the whole perspective of the channel is to show life with an EV. So proper life with an EV. I mean, you can think of it as a fly on the wall documentary or something like that. Although obviously my car doesn't have any walls, so we'll have to think of a new name. So it's yeah, simply you're watching what happens. I'm not doing these journeys because for the sake of doing the journeys. I'm not doing these journeys as a special event to record. I am doing these journeys because I need to do these journeys. That's the be all and end all of it. These journeys have to happen. So, hey, may as well record them. So I'm not going to be driving anywhere that I'm not needing to go. I won't be doing any directions or any specific routes because they are particularly good for charge points or particularly bad for charge points or anything like that. I'm just going where I need to go. If the charging infrastructure is there, then great, which in my experience most of the time it is. If it's not, like at that Ionity there at Peterborough where it's busy, then that's what I get to have to put up with, and that's what you will get to see. As I say, fly on the wall documentary, effectively. I've got a windscreen, fly on a windscreen documentary. Could be that. In fact, the camera's attached to the windscreen, so. So I've chosen to drive the economical route, as the sat-nav calls it. This is the one that cuts across the country. So it's more A roads and fewer motorways. I could have taken what it describes as the fastest route. It was 15 minutes faster. So on a 4-hour journey, 15 minutes, a little bit faster, but it was about 40 miles longer. Obviously I could do either. The sat-nav would have allowed either in the full battery. It wouldn't have complained, I don't think, that I was needing to charge on the way. Either way. But personally, I prefer the back roads, I call them back roads, but the A roads rather than the motorways. It's a bit more interesting. If you're doing a long journey, I find motorways, 70 mile an hour, on cruise control, just sat there, it's not very interesting really, very boring. A14, M6, M54, I don't know which way it would have taken me, probably further up the M6 and across on the North Wales Expressway. Instead, I'm going up the A1 and through Melton Mowbray on the 606, and then across on the A50 to Stoke, and across to Crewe, from Crewe to Chester, and then joining the North Wales Expressway road, which, yeah, that's a good road. You'll want to watch a bit longer. Make sure you keep watching because that is a nice road, that is. You get some interesting footage along there, especially if this rain stops. Sorry about the rain. As I say, this is me recording my journeys as they happen, when they happen, the way they happen, where they need to happen. So I cannot control the traffic, the timing of the journeys, the rain, the weather, the temperature. None of that is in any way controlled by me. It's all real life, so as it happens. I mean, obviously, it's only real life for me right now in these conditions. It'll never be repeated again. I will never drive this journey again at this time, on this day. And nobody else is ever going to drive this journey in my car on this day, here and now. So all this real life stuff that people go on about with regards to electric cars, I think it's a load of nonsense. This is real life, but it's real life right now for me, in my exact conditions. Anything else, you'll just have to think how it compares or extrapolate it in your own mind. I'm not going to try and tell you this is what you'll get, because that's what I got. Absolute nonsense. The same is true of petrol and diesel cars as well. I used to get about 60 mpg out of my previous petrol car. I wouldn't claim that anybody else should be getting that, or that that was a real life MPG. Gave me around 550 miles from the tank. Again, I wouldn't claim that that was the Seat Leon's range, 1.4 petrol. That was just what I got. Obviously, what you would have got if you had that same car, or if you have that same car, will be completely different, or maybe not completely different, but maybe it'll be similar. But I can't dictate to you as to what you will or won't get in any car, petrol, diesel, electric, or anything. Just enjoy my fly on the wall or fly on the windscreen documentary, and make of it what you will make of it. I will not be telling you what to make of it. So here's my turn to Melton Mowbray coming up. A606 Oakham and Melton Mowbray. Now actually my sat nav is sending me up a bit further to cut across on a different road, but I like this one, so I'm taking this one. Takes you past Rutland Water, nice big reservoir. Which presumably, with all this rain we've had this winter, will be absolutely crammed with water. And come the summer, there really shouldn't be any need for the water companies to talk about hosepipe bans and things like that, because we have had so much rain this winter, it's unbelievable. So the discussion point for today, I guess, is, do you take the direct route or do you take the long route? Obviously, as I've already mentioned, I'm taking the direct route today. I'm doing this A606 that takes me through Oakham to Melton, and then I'm taking the A6006 that takes me then, cuts past to Kegworth on the M1. I cross the M1 onto the A50, so not onto motorway then either. Well, that is a dual carriageway, so it's quite a fast road, but it's still direct. Takes me through to Stoke, where I take the A500 around Stoke. That takes me to the M6 junction, but again, I don't join the M6, I go straight ahead, bypassing Crewe and Nantwich on the way to Chester. Then at Chester, I join the North Wales Expressway, I think it's called, which runs along the north coast of Wales, and that takes me to my destination, which is Bangor. So that's my route, that's the direct route. The alternative was that I go southbound from Peterborough on the A1 to the A14. That's then a dual, obviously the A1 is the A1M at that point, so it's a motorway. Then I would have turned onto the A14, which would take me to past Kettering to the M6, bottom of the M6. Then I would pick up the M6 and drive that all the way up to almost towards Liverpool, north of Chester, where I would then join the motorway that goes, I can't remember the number of it, but it's a motorway, 56 maybe, or something like that. And that goes then north of Chester and joins the same North Wales Expressway. So one's about 40 miles further, but takes about 15-20 minutes less. Would you choose the extra 15-20 minutes, or do you save the extra 40 miles like me? Is it because of the amount of time it takes? Is it because of the amount of miles it takes? Or do you just prefer to be on a motorway? Or do you prefer to be on an A road? Do you get stressed by being potentially behind a horse box? Do you enjoy being behind a horse box because it gives you opportunity to overtake and show off the power of your car? Let me know. That's what the comments are for. Stick your thoughts in the comments. As I mentioned, generally I'm a more direct route person. I would much rather go the shorter route, less miles on the car, more efficient, and also generally a nicer route as well. Takes me through particularly in this instance, takes me through some nice little villages and towns, and as I say, past Rutland Water, the big reservoir. So this is the route that I would take. Right, so this is Rutland Water we're approaching. It should be visible on the left as we come down this hill, if you've not been here before. Yeah, it's pretty high, but the sheep are still there in the field. So yeah, it's definitely full, that's for sure. Plenty of water for the summer. Do you hear me, Anglia Water? Angling water. We're not allowing any sort of excuses come summer. If you've collected all this water and then somehow you lose it before the summer, that's your fault. You need to be looking into your pipes. But to be fair, actually, we didn't have a hose pipe ban in this region last year when there was lots of others around the country. And generally, I think Angling Water do a pretty decent job. They're one of the better water companies, in my opinion. And so welcome back, and here we are in Melton Mowbray. Obviously this is one of the downsides of taking the direct route and going through towns and stuff. I think you're more likely to get roadworks like this. So during that little walk video you may have noticed got stuck behind a tractor for a little while that was slowing down, a couple of lorries. Didn't get really slow, just slowed down maybe to about 30 miles an hour from 50-60, which is the average along here. But now we're sat waiting to get into Melton Mowbray because there are roadworks. Well, these roadworks are really a pain. If I'd known about these, I'd have gone the other way. Thing is, I could see them just ahead, further up the hill. I don't know whether maybe too many people were coming through from the other direction, as often happens. People have waited so long that they run the red lights, and then the other direction doesn't get anybody through because they're having to wait for, although they're on green, they're having to wait for the others to get through. Or maybe it's one of those 4 or 5 way light systems. We have to wait for lots of different directions. From what I can see, it's not that far ahead, so it's just strange that it's taking this long. Lorry's moving, so let's get going. Come on guys, let's not dawdle. Gonna move on. They're red, the lights are red. It's almost like they're letting one car through at a time. But at the rate of change, only one car at a time this way, no loads through the other way. I presume that's not what they're doing, but we'll see when we get closer. It must only be like 5 cars back, well, a lorry and 4 cars or something. There's nothing on the other side of the road, so there's nothing else coming through from the other direction. I mean, actually there's more intelligence in the roadwork traffic lights. Go back to the days when you had a man with a stick and a lollipop stick with go on one side and stop on the other side, and they could turn it whenever it made sense to turn it. So I think that sign does say 3-way control from what I can tell. And here's the traffic on the other side. So there is traffic coming through, but that was at least 6 or 7 cars coming through. We didn't get anywhere near that the other way. Hey, green! Let's see if we can get through this time. Yeah, I'll be tempted to run the red light if it changes, to be honest. Yep, that's me going through on green. Well, it's gone orange, but I'm going through on green. The guy behind me, yep, he's following me. The guy behind him, he followed as well. So they both definitely went through on red. Shame on you. If the guy ahead, or the guy ahead of the guy ahead, would actually keep up with traffic, then maybe we'd all get through before the other turns green. Let's have a quick glance as we pass by. They're still red on that side, so I'll assume they're next. I think it was 3-way control, as I say. Right, so this is Melton Mowbray. If you've not been to Melton Mowbray, small town in Rutland. Train station on your left just now. So if you want to take the train to Melton Mowbray, you can. See the old church on the left. A little old pub here, which is the Anne of Cleves. Never been into it, but it looks quite nice. Every time I pass it, I think to myself, oh, might go there sometime. A little pedestrianised town centre on your right. Of course, there's a Greggs. There's Greggs in every town these days. Melton Mowbray is famous for pork pies. So when you go into your local supermarket in the UK, you will find Melton Mowbray pork pies available. And I think they are a protected status, so they have to be made in, not in Melton Mowbray, the town itself, but in the region. So I think it's kind of in Leicestershire, Rutland, that sort of region, in order to label it a Melton Mowbray pork pie. Otherwise it's just a pork pie. Is there any benefit to it being a Melton Mowbray pork pie? Does it taste any better? I'm not sure it does. Pork pies are pork pies. I love pork pies, they're great. But I can't say a Melton Mowbray labelled one is necessarily going to taste any better than a non-Melton Mowbray labelled one. I'm sure people make perfectly good pork pies in Lincolnshire or Nottinghamshire or wherever else. Okay, so we're almost out of Melton now. That took quite a lot longer than I expected. I think the sat nav is saying our time of arrival is 1:50, so it must have known about that delay. And maybe that was one of the reasons it was sending me further up the A1, because then I would cut through Melton Mowbray from a different direction. They would have joined here, this junction from the right, rather than coming from this direction. And I would have missed out that delay, so maybe I should have followed the Kia sat nav. It seemed to know what it's talking about, I guess. But I didn't. I took it into my own hands because I know best, and I guess I lost myself 10 minutes. So just got past that lorry. Took a long time, I did. So one of the downsides clearly of taking this sort of route on the A roads is you can get yourself stuck behind the lorry. I don't think I've lost a great deal of time due to it. I think kind of the predicted time on the sat nav was fairly much about the same. I'm still looking at 1:48 PM arrival and 22% battery on arrival. I think it's much the same, but it's not nice, especially on a rainy day like this when there's so much standing water as well, to be stuck behind a big dirty lorry. It's not nice at all. That's not the reason I came this route. The reason I came this route is to get some nice open road, nice scenery, like what I've got right now. So this is what I was hoping for. This is the A50, so dual carriageway now all the way to Stoke, so that's going to be, I don't know, 30-40 miles or something. So here we are arriving at McDonald's on the outskirts of Stoke, and there are 2 Instavolt chargers free, which is nice if someone wants to charge, but there are no spaces free in the car park. So yeah, if you want to actually eat, then you gotta go and park over at the, let this guy go, park over at the Hungry Horse by the looks of it. And there are some charge points over there too, which I think I'm going to go carry on. There's a McDonald's further up. I'll just go to that one instead. Mr. Land Rover Discovery is going straight on, it seems. No indicators. So I guess, yeah, straight through the fence into the fuel station, presumably. Tricky getting out of that one. So yeah, a couple of junctions up, I think there's a Argos and a Sainsbury's and a Tesco's or something like that, and a few other places. And I think there's somewhere to eat up there too. KFC, you see KFC on my map. Maybe I'll just go to that instead. Next junction. Hopefully it's got a car park. Don't want it just to be a shop on the side of the road. It looks like it could end up being a shop on the side of the road. No, it does have a car park. How do you get to the car park? I'm going to assume we turn left here and then right. Like I guessed right. Okay, so we are not having McDonald's for lunch, we are having KFC instead. There we go. So, park, and I will turn the camera off. So KFC. So yeah, the McDonald's that I was planning on going to car park was full completely, apart from the two Instavolt charge points, which were both available. So if you wanted to charge your car, then you could plug in and park there. But I didn't want to charge my car, and I don't like to use a space I'm not entitled to use. And it seems that nobody else was wanting to either, which was quite unusual. I expected maybe a van or car that didn't need it to be parked in it. I know sometimes especially when it's the last space, these electric charge point spaces aren't very well looked after by other road users. So here I am, KFC, and I've gone for a tower burger of some kind. I don't normally have a burger when I'm at KFC, but I fancied a burger. And I've got the KFC signature fries. Nice. They come with a seasoning on them. I don't know if UK and other parts of the world have the same KFC, same McDonald's, whatever. I think the recipes are slightly different sometimes. So I've got my signature fries. These are nice. They're a little bit cold. Considering it's not busy, I would have thought they would have been cooking fresh, but yeah, they're nice. I like these. Let's see what the tower burger's like. There we go. The tower burger. It is untowering itself. As you can see, it's kind of falling to pieces a bit, but put the bun back on. So this is piece of fillet chicken, some mayo by the looks of it, some cheese, a hash brown. This is a barbecue version, so there's barbecue sauce and some lettuce It's a big boy of a burger. So let me see if I can get hold of this thing. It's huge. Mmm. Mmm. Nice. I think I will need those napkins that I put down in my little cubby hole, because this is going to get messy. And alongside all of that, I've even splashed out today, and I have some barbecue chicken pieces in a spicy barbecue sauce, and these are really sticky. Loads of sauce in this today. Kansas barbecue bites, they call them. Now, presumably there's no requirement for Kansas barbecue bites to be made in Kansas, because hopefully these aren't made in Kansas. It'd be rather cold if they got here, or even manufactured in Kansas. Kansas. But for some reason, our UK takeaways like to put American names on their products to make them sound like they're tastier for some reason. No idea why. Makes no sense at all. And then to round that all off, I have myself a latte. Yeah, it's alright. Bit sweet. I mean, you can't trust a place like KFC to make a good coffee, but hey, when you need coffee, you need coffee. So there we go. So I will continue and feed my face, and then we'll get back on the move. Sat nav, I've turned the car back on. Sat nav is saying 17 minutes past 2 at the moment. So if I munch this down, I should still be getting there before 3, which is my target. So all is good. All is good. So lunch all eaten. Very tasty actually. I'm quite impressed. But certainly better than McDonald's. I don't know what all those people are doing queuing up at McDonald's with a full car park. They could be here. It was empty in there. I mean, I sat in the car and ate it. I got my laptop out, did some work, and I've been charging things up as well. My various different devices need charging. Discovered my laptop needed charging as well, so that's plugged in the back. One of the advantages of this car, you've got a domestic power socket in the back, so I can just plug my charger in. Perfect. Run anything you like from that. And well, I say anything you like within reason, obviously. Maybe more on that on another video. So yeah, it's now estimated time of arrival 2:37. As I said, I was aiming to get there for 3, so probably better get going, really. 20 minutes to spare in that respect. My estimated arrival battery is 22%, even though I've been sat here having lunch with the aircon on and listening to the radio. And oh, I've had my lights on as well. Should put them back onto auto, or should I keep them on? It's a bit rainy, I'll leave them on. So yeah, looks like we're all as per plan, really. And we are back on our way. And trying to work out again how to get back onto the main road. It's back out this way, and I think it's left. And left again. Lots of lefts and lefts and lefts. And a little camper, a little VW camper. I'm sure I saw a VW camper go past a moment ago. Maybe it's the same one, maybe he's a bit lost. It's quite easy to get lost around here. I would like a VW camper. Not necessarily one of those. Quite like the ID Buzz, actually, the new one. That would be quite nice as a camper, I think. So we are on to the A50 again in a moment, and the traffic moves across. Let me on. Thank you, traffic. And I will move out from behind the camper. Hello, camper. slight change of plan. Approaching the M6. Not change of plan on my route. I'm still doing the most direct route. I'm still not going northbound up to almost Liverpool to come back on myself. I'm going to cut through Manchester. That is the plan, and I'm sticking to it. But slight change of plan in that I'm going to just now have another quick stop, because I realised that after my KFC and my disappointing latte, I now need the toilet. So I'm going to quickly stop at some services here. There is a Shell garage there. I think it's part of services. I must say I've never been to these services before, so this is going to be a new one on me. Oh, there's a KFC here as well, and a Greggs, and according to my map there are some charge points as well. I've just passed Shell, so I'm thinking maybe they are Shell ones, so that'd be unreliable, extremely expensive, from what I understand from what people say about Shell charge points. Meanwhile, let's try and find these services. So, right at the roundabout, there we go. This looks like the car park. It looks like it's fairly flooded. Lovely. I will stick the car this side where there's less flooding. Okay, I think we'll strike that off as a learning process. Coming back here, KFC just got one toilet. There was somebody in there, there was somebody queuing. It seemed like it's one of those where you have to give your receipt to gain entry to the toilet as well, so kind of a please don't come here, you're not welcome style. So I'm going to just call that services that I'm never going to again. No reason to ever go there. Back on the road, and I will just have to hold on instead, which is fine. Not desperate. Round the wrong side of the roundabout now though. I've lost 5 minutes or so of my journey, so 2 hours 41 is what we're now expecting as arrival, and well, battery says 23% now, so somehow I've gained 1%. I guess I've been a bit more efficient recently coming down from Stoke. It's downhill. What have we here? A Hyundai Bayon. Don't think I've seen one of those before. Well, Mr. Bayon, gonna move on. Bayon. Oh, he's off. He's had enough of the lorry now. He's like, oh, I'm gonna pass this guy. In fact, I think I will try and do the same. If these cars all move quick enough, then I can get ahead of the lorry before they merge the other side of the lights. Okay, we're green. Let's go guys, let's go. Yay, I'm ahead of the lorry. Follow Mr. Bayon. He knows what he's doing. Must be local. Maybe. Okay, so has my journey been better going this way or going motorways? On this particular occasion, I actually think going the motorway route would have been better. Certainly in terms of time, I think I lost a fair amount of time cutting through between the A1 and the M1 via Melton Mowbray. So we are free of that single carriageway and that traffic, onto a bit of dual carriageway as we bypass Crewe. It doesn't last that long, this dual carriageway. It's a couple of short sections between roundabouts, and then it goes back to single carriageway. Then back to dual carriageway again when we reach Chester. So I'm going to stop chatting and we'll go back into walk mode. So this is the end of this road, or the end of the road obviously, the end of this section of road. I will join the Chester Ring Road, or the A55 as it's also known, in 0.6 of a mile. So that'll be dual carriageway again. We are estimated time of arrival of 2:39. So actually this little section of A roads through the villages and towns has been faster than it predicted it would be. I'm not saying it's faster than going around on the motorway, but faster than it should have been according to the sat nav. So that was good. I'm pleased with that. I have now finished my KFC latte. That's now an empty cup in my car. I'll have to find a bin sometime and get rid of all that. The rest of the rubbish. Hopefully some sort of way of recycling at least some of it. But as I said earlier, disappointing, the latte, very disappointing. Maybe I should just learn, don't buy coffees at KFC. I mean, I won't say that McDonald's coffees are fantastic or anything like that, because they're not, but they are of a reasonable level. Tesla Model S just gone past over there, custom number plate or private number plate, whatever you want to call it. All number plates are private. What am I trying to say? Personalised number plate, that's the one. Don't see too many Model S's in the UK. I guess it's because in part they're not available anymore with right-hand drive. So you have to get yourself a left-hand drive or put it. Yeah, it's all faffy. That's why you see so many 3s, Ys. You can't get the X and the S. So here we are onto the A55 towards North Wales. At some point soon we will be crossing the border into a different country, and as I suggested earlier in the video, the weather has indeed got better. So the rain has stopped. We don't quite have blue skies, but least the rain has stopped. The predicted time of arrival, as mentioned, is 2:40. I have 55 miles left to go, and the car is predicting an arrival with 23% battery. So all is good. Everything is pretty much as the car said it would be. So at the beginning it told me I'd arrive with 19%, I think it was, when I sat in the Peterborough services setting up the car with the camera, etc. With my heating on stationary, it dropped to 18%, and then during the journey it's now to 23%. So all in all, around 20%-ish, round up or round down, from the beginning of journey through to this point here. And I fully expect that when I arrive it will be around that as well. Obviously this next section to Wales is a bit more in the way of hills, so it might be a little bit less efficient. So I'm currently going up a hill. My efficiency since last stop is now down to 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. But of course if you go up a hill you have to come down one as well. So it'll go back up again a little bit and probably have to come down the other side. The overall average for the journey since I began is 3.5. So that's a bit more of a stable figure to look at. Although that does include my stopping at KFC and 20 minutes or whatever it was to eat my chips, or fries rather, signature fries, and my Tower Stacker burger thingy, and my Kansas chicken bites. And I've had my lights on because it's been miserable weather, and I've had the aircon on 20 degrees because, well, that's what you do, isn't it? You drive in the cold. At times I've had the heated steering wheel and the heated seats on, certainly at the beginning, but now I'm fairly warm. Started off at 9 degrees, now 13 degrees, and I've had all my things charging, so my phone charging, my camera charging, times I've had my little microphone charging, and I've got in the back of the car, plugged into the 3-pin domestic socket, I've got my laptop charging. So I'm not going easy on the car with regard to the other supplies and things that it can output. I'm using what I need. Now we're going down a real big hill, so as well as having the glare of the sun directly in front of us, which you probably can't see very well, like I'm having to pull down the sun visor. We also have this massive hill that we're going down. You can see the mountains in the background. Some of the Welsh mountains or Welsh hills, I don't know whether they classify as mountains or not. Those ones, whether they're that tall, but certainly nice countryside. Definitely one of the positives about coming to North Wales. So here we're driving along the north coast of Wales. Hopefully you can see over to the right there the blue sea. Don't know what you can quite see from this camera angle. This is a nice section of this road, this A55. You've got cliff faces on the left side, and you've got the sea on the right side when you're heading westbound like this. And then you have some little tunnels and whatnot through one of the cliffs a bit further up. I'm hoping that because I've taken it off charge, I'm hoping that the camera will behave itself in terms of overheating. So I've had a few overheating issues one just back there, and so hopefully this will hold up and you'll be able to get to see some of the interesting road that runs around the north coast of Wales. And here we're going through the Conway Tunnel. This takes us under the water. It's a fairly long tunnel. It's not like some of the ones that go through the Alps or anything like that. They're really long. I guess it's probably similar length to the ones that go under the Thames. Back out into the daylight. My infotainment system is now telling me that at my destination the AC charger has now become available 18 minutes ago. The DC one is still in use. So DC one is the rapid charger, the one that should charge fastest. So I guess someone plugged into that somewhat later than the person who's left the AC. And now we have a tunnel that takes us through this mountain. So this side of the road uses the tunnel. The other side of the road, if you can see across the barriers there, goes around the edge of the mountain. So actually it's more fun on the way back because you get to go around the edge of the mountain, whereas on the way you just get another tunnel. Again, not a massive one, it just cuts through that small amount of mountain. Definitely more impressive on the other side of the road going the other way. But as I say, I won't pick that up on the way back because I won't be filming. It'll be dark. I'll have passengers. Now we have another mountain, so you can probably see on camera this time. The mountain runs straight, it's straight in front of us, and it runs right down to the sea. There's no land between the sea and the cliff face. So again, a tunnel is the order of the day. So on this side of the road, I don't know, does the other side of the road skirt around the outside of the mountain again? Or is it all coming through the tunnel? Yeah, it looks like the other side of the road goes around the mountain again, and this side of the road goes through the tunnel. So again, better to be on the other side, but we're not. again back out into the Welsh sunshine, looking across a nice bay, see the sea, see some windsurfers out there. They must be picking up a decent pace with the wind as it is today. Alright, so 8 miles left on my journey. Almost done my 200 miles, done 190 miles today. It's taken 5 hours including the time I've been sat. So that includes sitting at the start, setting up cameras and stuff like that, and sitting in the car with it all turned on, having my lunch at KFC. So you can take a good wedge of time off for that. Average of 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is a decent enough average for an electric vehicle. Again, it would be slightly better if it hadn't been for the sitting around. So obviously during those times sitting, I had all the electrics on, charging my various devices, and also the heating system running. So here we are coming to the end of the journey. Came off the A55. Where do I need to be for these services? So this is the travel lodge at the services. So it's not particularly the nicest place to stay, but it suits my needs on this occasion. And here we are. So 25% battery remaining, having done 196 miles. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Hope this has shown you what a long journey, well, a 197 mile journey anyway, is like in an EV. It really isn't any different to a petrol car, to be fair. Had I done this in petrol and I'd had a full tank to start with, it would have been just the same.